I'm going to start first by introducing the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Solid Mineral Development of the Republic of Nigeria. I'll briefly go through the Honorable Minister's bio. Honorable Minister is a writer, author, a seasoned media professional, Mr. Oladele Alake. The Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals was the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Strategy in Lagos, Nigeria's most industrial cosmopolitan state between 1999 and 2007. In that capacity, the Honorable Minister was involved in formulating the strategic and tactical initiatives which made the administration of Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, then the Governor of Lagos State, of record outstanding achievements. This marked its record of excellence in industry, finance, education, health, employment, and community development. Until he was appointed the Honorable Minister, he was the Special Advisor on Strategy, Communication, and Special Duties to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Suwaju Bola Tinubu. So this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome Honorable Minister to come and show us through our mind and imagination the tour of Nigeria. Honorable Minister, please take your podium.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, moderator and my colleagues here, distinguished guests. It's a privilege to be with you this afternoon to take you through the journey so far in Nigeria. What I've titled my presentation, De-risking mining investments, de-risking. Now, when Nigeria is mentioned, what readily comes to mind is oil. When you talk about the economy, it's oil. Yes, Nigeria has operated a monocultural economic system for decades. And that is why the mining sector had been sort of been in the background, de-emphasized for so long. However, for obvious reasons, hydrocarbon, we all know, is shifting, and the attention is now focused on solid minerals. And more importantly for Nigeria, there is a need for diversification of the economy. And three, we have a new government in place that has taken very radical surgical economic reforms, policy initiatives that have opened up the Nigerian economy to globalization. And so, it's so seriously critical for Nigeria to open up its mining sector to the world. And I'm here to let you know that Nigeria is good and ready for investors. And that is why we need to de-risk our mining sector to attract investors. The Ministry of Solid Minerals, under my humble self, is mandated to market Nigeria's mining sector. And that's what we've been doing since the new government got in place. And this new government, as the moderator did say, is headed by a leader who has done it before in one of Africa's largest city-states. That is Lagos State. Lagos is the most populated state in Nigeria with over 20 to 25 million inhabitants. And it has the largest economy much more than over 30 African countries. That is the state in Nigeria. And the current president was a governor of that state that drove the internally generated revenue from about 600 million naira a month in 1999 at the inception of his office to more than 50-something billion naira today. And so, going from that trajectory, it has become imperative to drive up the revenue generation potentials of Nigeria, and the mining sector is a huge part of this drive. In fact, the estimated value of the Nigerian solid mineral sector is about $700 billion, yet unexploited. 45% compound annual growth rate over the past 5 years. However, all of this pale into insignificance when you talk about oil in Nigeria. The mining sector, at the last count, contributed less than 2% to the GDP. For us to get a true picture of it, it's important to take you through the journey so far. In the 1900s, heavy mining operations focused on gold, tin, coal. During the colonial era, in this time, the mining sector contributed about 5%. Between 2015 and 2016, a selection of 7 strategic metals, lead, zinc, gold, barite, iron ore, coal, limestone, bitumen, were focused upon, and the roadmap to growth was announced, and the implementation triggered progress and attention in that sector. By 2019, the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative was inaugurated, targeting the gold sector. And by 2020 to 21, blocks of bitumen opened up with concession, with PwC as the oversight partner, and 6 mineral processing clusters around the country were set up. The geodata center through the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, NGSA, was launched. And last year, there was a launch of the electronic mining cadastral system for license management and development of a geological mineral map of the country through NIMEP. This year, there was the launch of the Solid Mineral Development Fund initiative and partnership with the Africa Finance Corporation to deepen investment in that sector. Why should you come to Nigeria, you may ask? Nigeria is now mining investor friendly, and certain policy initiatives have been taken towards this goal. The Mining Act of year 2007, Nigerian Mining Act, and its reforms are modeled after the Western Australian Act. And you know what that means. The Western Australian Act is supposed to be the pivot around which all others revolve. And to make the Nigerian mining sector very, very business friendly, the Nigerian Mining Act was fashioned alongside that of the Western Australian Act. And we know it's so robust enough to accommodate investor policy requirements. 2, there is consistency in the Nigerian policy environment. Nigeria respects its mining investors. It's never changed rules in the middle of play by hiking royalties or attempting to take over the earnings of companies or the players in the sector. There's also the critical mineral strategy, which Nigeria is developing as a robust critical mineral strategy important today in the face of global demand and transition, and the fact that our critical minerals are now coming to the spotlight. Number 4, there is security of license. Through the mining cadastre, we are committed to ensuring that licenses are properly issued to investors, and we are quick to provide relevant support if challenges occur. There is also the security of the mining environment, the sites. Security has been a very critical issue of some global concern in Nigeria and in West Africa as a whole. But in the last several weeks, Nigeria has been taking very concrete steps in addressing this issue. And as of today, we have recorded very, very drastic reduction in incidences of security breaches, especially around the industrial hubs. There are other benefits of investing in Nigeria. There is a corporate income tax and royalties, which are very, very competitive. Royalty payable on any mineral may be deferred for several years. Royalties rates range from 3 to 5%. Now, it's important to note that this could be deferred for several years as an incentive to potential investors. There's tax holiday for an initial period of 3 years from commencement of operations and extended by an additional 2 years where necessary. There's also a policy of exemption from customs and import duties in respect to machineries, equipment, plants, and accessories imported exclusively for mining. This is designed to make the mining sector extremely very friendly. There is 95% capital allowance, accelerated capital allowance on mining expenditure, 95% initial allowance and retention of 5% until asset is disposed. Very importantly, very, very critically, there is free transferability of foreign currency through the Central Bank of Nigeria for servicing of certified foreign loan and remittances of foreign capital in the event of sale or liquidation. And the corollary to that is that there is free remittance of earnings from Nigeria. So investors are invited to come in, invest, and they are assured of a very conducive business environment. The minerals available in Nigeria are quite many, about 44 different types. We have the metallic and precious minerals, we have the energy minerals, we have the industrial minerals. Now, there is critical mineral, which Nigeria is well positioned to play an important role in decarbonization and net zero global ambition. And this is in furtherance of Nigeria's contribution to zero emission. Lithium is one of the critical minerals in the world today. And Nigeria is set to play a very, very prominent role in that regard because just recently Nigeria has discovered one of the largest deposits of high-grade lithium in the world. And we have players here who would elaborate on that. Now, private sector players in Nigeria are recording large volumes of this mineral deposit ranging from 30 million to 50 million metric tons with average grades of 2.4 lithium 20. That is very attractive. Our ambitions are beyond all trading and export. We want to add value. Nigeria is well positioned for mineral processing from concentrate to carbonate to hydroxide level, and finally EV batteries, which the world needs to meet its net zero goals. We're committed to making our contribution to the climate and the global energy transition. And like I said earlier on, this is a major contribution of Nigeria. Lithium is on the spotlight. Nigerian lithium minerals, spodumene and lepidolite, are usually associated with cassiterite, columbite, tantalite, coltan, and others in the extensive belt of rare metal-breaking rock types called pegamites. These rock pegamites stretch from the north-central to the southwest, and there are several states in between. Another belt in the western half of Nigeria, stretching from Zamfara and Kaduna states in the northwest, through Kwara State in the north-central and Oyo State in the southwest, is known to host the rare metal-bearing pegamites. Some have also been found in the southern parts of Nigeria. With these belts, dozens of occurrences of these rare metal-bearing pegamites are recorded, and some are known to have lithium-bearing minerals of the highest quality. We have these pegamites in very large quantity. I wouldn't want to bore you with the details. Nickel, chromium, cobalt, platinum group elements also exist. An extensive ground magnetic survey and targeted soil sampling were undertaken with drilling program. Graphite has been encountered in some of the northern states, and strong intersections were encountered during the survey. We have decision-making data and tools available for investors based on work done thus far by the Nigerian government. We have new lithostructural and metallogenic map of the country. We have airborne high-resolution survey over proof of concept areas, geophysical and geochemical mapping with selected areas over proof of concept, digitized mineral title management system, digital maps, mineral resource maps, fractured map, core log maps, geochemical and geotechnical maps. We also have data from the National Integrated Mineral Exploration Program, which covers gold, PGE, barite, rare earth, lead, and zinc. Data is available and accessible online on the website of the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, NGSA, and Digital Geodata Bank. Now, this sector, as we all know, is heavily data-driven. So the Nigerian government has invested heavily in data gathering, and which is still ongoing, but the data available is enough to show the huge potential in this sector in Nigeria for investors. Now, snapshots of investor successes in Nigeria, an example. Thor Explorations, this is a Canada-based mineral exploration company listed on the Canadian Venture Exchange and AIM market of the London Stock Exchange. Lithium, it announced in 2023 that it has secured land package of over 600 square kilometers in the western region of Nigeria with a spodumene lepidolite mineralization in evolved lithium, cesium, tantalum, pegmatites, and has already commenced 5,000-meter drilling program on existing exposed lithium-bearing pegmatites with significant intersections. Now it has all the details of its exploration, but this is a success story, but we have more, even larger success stories. There is Jupiter project, which is said to be the first Tier 1 lithium mining project in Nigeria. The Jupiter project is located in Kaduna State, in the northern part of Nigeria, and in a belt known to host lithium, cesium, and tantalum. The project is in advanced stages of exploration and is on course to being a Tier 1 project. In fact, it is going to start mining very, very soon, and large quantity, one of the largest quantities in the world, has been discovered there. Now, we're building on the past's progress and making Nigeria the next mining destination on the African continent. We say that the last shall be the first in this wise. We know that our contemporaries in other African countries moved ahead of us in the past to establish themselves as mining destinations, with minerals being a key contributor to their national GDP. Nigeria, with its oil and gas focus, relegated the solid minerals mining sector to the back burner in the past. However, it is clear that this is no longer the case. The work started under the former government and is about to be deepened and advanced under this new administration. Our president has made this sector a strategic focus of his administration, and we are committed to driving the sector forward. Nigeria is now about to catch up with and overtake other countries. We have key administration focus, strategies. Goals is to increase mining sector's contribution to the national GDP. We are targeting about 30 to 50% contribution to the GDP from a mere 2%, which is very ambitious. Now, towards this, we're looking at establishing the Nigerian Solid Minerals Corporation to work with local international investors to secure funding locally from international sources. As this corporation focuses on the investment aspect of the sector, the Ministry of Solid Minerals can then focus on regulations. We are also intending to get into joint ventures with multinationals to attract foreign multinationals interested in taking advantage of our investment-friendly regime by investing in Nigeria. I've spoken about data. Data is so critical to this sector, and we endeavor to continue with initiatives that strengthen the level of data available for the investment. We're also focusing on value addition processing to ensure the nation increases the value of its minerals before export. We are formalizing artisanal miners to strengthen them and make them part of the value chain and local value addition. I spoke about security. Security at exploration and mining sites are important, and we are dedicated to strengthening and providing the much-needed security to ensure that investments are safe. Investment and collaborative opportunities, there are examples. Today, in Nigeria, there are local private players and government-led programs that have advanced exploration projects that fit the investment criteria of investors and junior miners. There are opportunities in minerals such as lithium, zinc, gold, tin, bitumen, niobium, chromite, and other such minerals. This is a good time for market entry because the Nigerian government is even more committed to this sector than it has ever been, and we are ready to work with miners and investors within a private sector-led play. We have also established 6 processing zones for all these minerals for concentrate production. Tin is an example of a mineral in Nigeria that is positioned for the next stage of processing, smelting, given its historic and ongoing relevance in the Nigerian mining scene. Data, which is the bedrock of mining, it has a center in Nigeria and has some way to go in building up its geological data, but all efforts are being increased in this sector. We are willing and eager to work with partners to accelerate and close the gap on our data dearth. There is also investment in local personnel via training. Due to the lack of focus on the sector over the years, there exists a knowledge gap in the sector today. We are open to working with industry experts to strengthen our local mining knowledge and policies to bring us up to speed with more advanced mining nations. We are also investing in minerals and products with high local demand. There are several industries in Nigeria that rely on the industrial minerals, and with the drive towards import substitution, there is demand for products such as glass from silica sand, limestone for cement production, barite for oil sector, phosphate for fertilizer, and so on. There is demand for relevant infrastructure and technology required by the mining industry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with this last word. Nigeria welcomes investors and partners, and our mining sector is ready and willing. We welcome you all. Thank you very much.